everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Blue Binks over here, and today I'm doing a fun challenge where I am going to be creating one base sim and then making 7 different sims out of them. I'm really excited about this one. I thought it was a really fun way to kind of push me out of my comfort zone to use some different custom content. That way you can kind of have a different look despite it being the same base. I saw it on TikTok. I did not see who the creator was, but thought it would be a fun challenge to try out. So right now you can see I am currently making my base sim. This was definitely a bit of a challenge for me since I was going to be using so many different hairstyles. I wanted to make sure that they looked complementary on all the different sims that I was going to be making. So definitely tried to go for a very universal look. And I think I accomplished that. I really do like the 7 different sims that I created, and I hope that you do as well. And so now I'm starting to kind of get into the first one that I'm going to be creating. I like to start off with the skin details first, since that's the way I feel like you can still make them look pretty different despite it being the same base, especially with a lot of the different nose overlays and skin overlays as well. I was also kind of playing around with some of the different eye overlays, which are not always something that I use. I'm usually pretty happy with the skins and then just really focusing on the contour, but you'll start to see I'm adding some of those details in right now. I do love that little details pack right there. I think that's a great one that always kind of just adds a little bit of that contour and just rounding features. And then I love the contour that I also applied on the after. I use that, I think, on every single sim. I just think it really helps emphasize the cheekbones. And these are the eyes that I like to use. I typically like to keep the same eyes on all my sims, just different colors. It kind of helps provide a universal look to me. And once I put that brown hair on her, I was like, I want to go deeper on the skin tone, and I really like the way she turned out with that. This also was a really fun way for me to kind of test some different makeup out. I really liked this look, kind of more the dramatic eyeliner for her, and that was not something I've used recently, so that was a really cool look for her right there, and I just think it fits her very sultry features as well. And then eyelashes, I tend to stick to pretty similar ones. I'm going to add the blush first though. And then lipstick, I really do like this Northern Winds lipstick, and I tend to gravitate towards that one. I like my lips to be a bit more on the natural side for my Sims and on a more matte. Sometimes the glossy kind of overtakes in my opinion, but whatever you think is going to look best, I think is perfect. Here I am kind of playing around with her style. I cut out because the video was going to be super long if I didn't, me obsessing and not being able to figure out what I was going to put on her for a while. So I spared you all that back and forth and kind of fast forwarded to this look that I ultimately decided on. And I will have all the custom content that I used for every single sim linked below. But this was the outfit I ended up going with her. I love denim skirt twins right now, and this one was so fun with the buttons. It's just a different take on it. And then I really liked pairing it with this sneaker look as well. I thought she turned out really cute. And then I wanted to go in and add a necklace for her and add some of that layering effect of this look. But yes, that is my first sim that I created for this challenge. And I love the way she turned out. And I definitely think she really encompasses what I was going with this and trying to make each one look different. The next sim that I'm going to be doing, I wanted to go completely opposite direction and kind of went for more of a winter type sim. I thought that would be really fun to have somebody that's a bit more um, kind of snowy and just really wanting to use that super light skin, play around with some of the blue, grays for the eyes. And I have some pretty cool frosty like makeup packs that I thought would be super fun to use with this as well. So here I am adding the skin on her and just trying to find the one that kind of complements her the best, especially since the skin is super, super white compared to some of the other ones that I use. Just making sure that it didn't kind of yellow tint or gray out her skin with some of those. I put these lashes on her at first, but then I remembered later on that I had these like little snow tipped lash ones, so I went on later and added those. You'll see in the video. Here I am just adding once again some more of those skin details that I really like. I really try to change it up more in the noses and stuff. More of the contours and things like that are pretty consistent throughout all my Sims. Some have these highlights, others don't. So I do kind of play around with it there. Here I am was testing some different highlights on her as well. Ultimately, though, this is what I ended up going with. And just going back in here, I'm figuring out if there's any other skin details that I wanted to add to her, but I really liked how she ended up turning out. So I'm now focusing on the makeup, and I really, once again, wanted to go for that kind of snowy freezer burn look. And so here I am removing those lashes because I remembered I have those others, and since I had done that, I was like, why, might as well add another face kit option to her there. And so these are those gorgeous little lashes. I could not decide at first which ones I wanted. I ended up going with the more thicker ones that had the snow details on them. I just ultimately liked that look for it. And then here I am playing with some of the different eyelashes, but I really wanted to go for that white look, and I love how that turned out. Um, and then added just something different blush options for her. I wanted it to really kind of work well with what we were doing for the rest of the makeup. And then lips, I wanted to go for a very neutral since she was so pale. I knew anything was going to be very colorful on her, so definitely muted that down. Hair wise, I knew I wanted something long and I wanted the cute ear muffs to be on there. I really did like this hair and this one as well, but I just wanted something a bit more dramatic, I would say, and I ended up loving this and then adding the little hair pieces on it. So just a super long, super cute, definitely what I was going for with this. And then looks wise, it took me a moment. I went through a lot of my different more like wintry looks and coats and whatnot, and wanted her to be in something white was what I knew, but I just could not figure out what. And so that took a little while to figure out before I ended up landing on this option. So once I figured that outfit out, I ended up adding some tights for her. Did not want her to be chilly in her winter wear, and then I ended up selecting these boots. I tried a few others on, but ended up coming back to these. I just felt like they really fit the look of what I was going for, and I think she just turned out so adorable, ready to go hit the slopes. The next sim, I really wanted to go for more of a bohemian look. I knew I had some really pretty hairs with braids and different beads, and so I knew going into it, I kind of wanted to use one of those and then use one of my lighter brunette hairs since I do tend to gravitate towards the darker hair colors more often. So I wanted to challenge myself there. And then I also ended up using some of the Miko skins, and that was a bit different for me. I tend to gravitate and stay using the same skins all the time. So this was definitely a challenge for me there, and I was super excited about it. I actually love how the sim turned out, and I'm definitely going to be using those skins more often. And so that's what I really liked about this challenge. It forced me to kind of use different things since I obviously did not want every sim to look the same despite being the same base. And I just think it really shows the versatility of different custom content. And then, of course, it really does show the staples that I cannot live without, which are definitely some of these skin detail ones that I just always go to. But there's so many options, even within using the same one, that can really change the look of the sim, and especially playing with like those eye details, the highlight, and different features such as those. So you'll definitely see me doing that a little bit with her on this as well, and testing out some of the different nose features too, just trying to figure out what was going to be the best look for her and just taking my time and playing around with that as well. I did definitely realize I need to go in and get some more like piercings and just some glasses and stuff. So I'm definitely going to be downloading some of those. So let me know if you want to see a haul of some more accessories and things like that, because I felt like I was missing that during this Create a Sim challenge for sure. Makeup wise, I wanted to go for a very kind of golden look. Same lashes that I always like to use on my Sims are what I went for here. Makeup wise, I wanted to go again for that more kind of orange gold type of look. And so I played around a little bit with the lipstick, but ended up going back to my tried and true right here. I really liked how her makeup turned out though, and I liked the use of the white eyeliner, which was a a little bit different than what I normally go for there. And I tried on a few different hairs for her. Ultimately, though, I love the one that I landed on here with the braids and then going in and adding the beads later on to match her outfit. I knew what dress I wanted her in. I knew I wanted her to be in kind of that bohemian style with the boots, and so definitely gravitated towards this one immediately. And I think she just looks so cute in this dress and really kind of fits the style that I was going for with her. The boots come with the set too, so those definitely coordinate well. And here I am adding the beads in that color palette. She turned out super adorable and definitely captured that bohemian style that I was looking for. This next sim, I knew I wanted to use the vitiligo marks on, and so I love that those are a base game option, but they pair beautifully with a lot of the custom content. It does not impact anything from at least the ones that I use, so they definitely do work really well together. I wanted to figure out which one I wanted to use first before I went and added some of the extra details on there. And so once I figured that out, you can see me kind of playing around with the eyes and different things like that. But as you can see, it really doesn't impact anything. They all work beautifully together. It's really fun just kind of picking different details to try and make each base look a little bit differently. And yes, they all do have very similar faces, but I do think every sim looks pretty different from each other. And so I was definitely very proud of that. Let me know if I were to do a challenge like this in the future or what kind of sims you would want to see. Definitely will help me push my envelope. I think it'd be fun as we're getting into Halloween season to maybe do this challenge again, but maybe focus more on like occult sims, different things like that. It doesn't even have to be a base challenge. Just maybe creating some different sims there would be super fun. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see in terms of that. Similar custom content that I'm adding on right now that I did add with some of the other sims, just most likely different swatches right there, and just playing around with what's gonna work with her face and just enhance her features is really what I like to do with these. Next, I'm gonna go and change eyebrows. I kept forgetting to do that at certain points. I was like, oh, want to make sure that those are different because that's another great way to make the face look different as well. Played around with a few different hairs on her. Ultimately, though, I really like the one that I went with since I did kind of want to do more of a street look with her. It was actually one of the outfits I was playing around with the first sim that I created that I ended up using for her. And she was probably the quickest sim that it took me to make out of all of them. Everything just really came together. I definitely like looking at some of my collections before I create a sim, and that often will give me inspiration in terms of outfits and different things like that. Lip wise, you can see the lipstick does kind of not lay over correctly with the markings, at least that first one that I was using. So I did play around with some different ones that complemented the markings better. And that's ultimately why I went with this lipstick. And I think it looked really pretty on her. And once again, pushing me out of my comfort zone to use some different makeup and content that I don't typically always use. I'm so happy to see this game has really been working hard to provide different representation and just a lot more body options like hair, like birthmarks and scars. So that definitely, I think, really opens up Create a Sim so much more and makes it really engaging to play with. And then, of course, custom content's also amazing too if you ever want to download things to really enhance that gameplay aspect. Outfit wise, I once again kind of wanted to go for that streetwear style. So here she is in her super cute jacket that we're going to pair right next to the skirt over here. I really like the colors and just felt like that was a super cute look that really went for that vision that I had. And then, of course, the boots as well. Definitely had a trend with skirts and boots this build, but she ended up so cute. I just love that pose. So my next sim, I always see myself using more of the warm skin tones and not as many of the neutral or cool ones. So I definitely wanted to play around with that. It's crazy to me to think we used to not have all these different skin categories. So I definitely want to branch out and make sure that I'm trying different shades. And so that was a big thing with this one. And then as you'll see later on the video, I also wanted to play around with shorter hair. I don't always use those short hairstyles, and thankfully this base really complemented it, and I actually love how that hair looks and turned out there. So that's super exciting, and you'll see that in a bit. But here I am once again playing around with some of the skin details. I really utilize some eye ones as well, or at least attempted to and played around with it. I didn't want to force anything and really just wanted to go with what looked best for my sim and still trying to make sure that all of them looked different from each other. That was a big priority for me there. So here I am just kind of messing with some of the different skin options that we have and playing around with that. I really do like the skin tone that we ended up going here, and then wanted to include some beauty marks and freckles as well, just because I think that complements and can definitely be another great way of making your sim look a little bit different than the others. I love these, and I love that they have the different effects and levels of darkness on there. And so I ended up going with those freckles for her. And I just think they are so cute. I love the darker ones as well. I was always so jealous of my friends who had freckles growing up too. And I just think they're the cutest thing ever. And really liked how they complement this. And then just once again, adding some of the staples that I like to include on my Sims that just really help kind of refine some of those features for them there. But what is your favorite part of playing Sims? I feel like I always end up in cast for hours on end, and then I'm not as good about necessarily the gameplay, but I have been playing a lot more since I've been filming videos, and it's definitely been pushing me to try some different challenges and to spice up gameplay. Whereas I feel like Create a Sim, I don't need anything to spice that up. It's just I can always spend hours in here, and I think the spicing up is adding new custom content because that's just like a new treat right there. I do not really play around with mods when it comes to the game. I don't know why. They've always just made me a little bit nervous of what if something goes wrong. I know they're all very tested, and I definitely could probably do that, but for some reason, I've always just more leaned towards custom content when it comes to Create a Sim and less when it comes to building and gameplay. But here I am adding her eyelashes, the cute hair. I did try playing around with glasses. I cut all that out. I just did not like the styles that I have. And I mentioned earlier, I definitely need to go look around for some cute glasses, custom content wise. I had kind of reorganized all my stuff and started from scratch because I wanted to make sure I could properly locate everything for real. And so I used to have a lot more, but I wanted to make sure I was starting with a clean slate, and I had some files that were probably broken previously, and so it was really nice just kind of starting over and re-downloading everything from scratch. So, love a lot of my Twisted Cat eyeshadows. They're just so good, and I kind of wanted to go for a smoky look with her as well, and then definitely wanted to do something a little bit different on the lips. Was playing around with it, and ultimately I liked this Twisted Cat one and kind of was able to change the color a little bit, but I just like that it's kind of a vampy smoky look and really complements her well. And then playing with the blush and stuff too. Blushes can be tricky sometimes because I get like a little bit of a, I don't want to say an air, but kind of a little bit of effect around the lashes where it just doesn't look right. It looks a little bit pixelated. And so I am pretty particular when it comes to the blushes. I do tend to use the same ones over and over again because they just work with the lashes as well. Here I am putting some earrings on her. I ultimately did not end up keeping the earrings on her because I went with a necklace instead. And I felt like it was a little bit too much, especially with the short hair. I feel like it calls to focus the earrings a bit more than it would if she had long hair that was obviously covering her ears. So I ended up removing that. But I really like this outfit. Once again, just kind of going for that um, kind of gray, a monochromatic, grungy look with her. So definitely like the way that this one turned out there too with the pants and whatnot, and then adding in the necklace. I definitely want to get some more necklaces. I feel like I have a pretty good collection of them already, but I feel like there's just such a fun way to add something, especially when you're going for a bit more of a simpler look with less patterns. So I really liked playing around with that and loved the necklace that we ended up going with on here. I wish I had all these necklaces to choose from at home. That is just always such a fun way to, once again, make an outfit a little bit different, add a fun accessory. And so I was really excited with how she turned out. I did remove the earrings just because it was a little bit distracting, but love the heart choker moment, and we gave her some black heels as well. This next sim, I really wanted to go for more of that cottage core vibe. She is going to be living it up in cottage living, and once again playing with that Miko skin. I had so much fun getting out of my comfort zone and trying some different skins I just hadn't always gravitated to, and so I got to use that again on her, but I still feel like she looks very different than my Bohemian sim, even though you could probably use a lot of similar outfits with cottage and bohemian style. I knew I wanted to do a blonde sim with a bit of a tanner skin tone. I thought that would look really cute, and I loved the green eyes that I actually had on all as the base for all my sims. I did not use it for some of the other ones though, so it was nice to get to use that with her, and I think it really complemented her skin tone as well. Once again, just adding some of the different features, playing around with that over here, and getting to just try and change things up. Those eyes really do help a lot when you're trying to make a sim look a little bit different than the other counterparts. So that was really nice getting to use those. Playing around with just the different makeup as well. I wanted to kind of go for more of that natural on the farm type of look. So playing into the browns and the golds, things like that. Just a bit more of that natural look, even though, I mean, eyeliner is not the most natural thing, but I just like the way it makes my Sims eyes pop as well. So here I am just playing with the different styles there. I do like to do all of this before I add the lashes on. That way I can see what I'm working with. Sometimes the lashes can overtake a little bit and I don't get to see that as much, but really like the way she's turning out. Was just playing around again with what was going to look best eyeliner wise. I didn't want it to be too crazy, and so I ultimately ended up going with a little bit of that white eyeliner. So that was super fun. Similar effect that I did earlier, and then adding the eyelashes too. I just think it goes for that more neutral look, and with those lashes being so big, they kind of create that cat eye effect anyway. And then here I am playing with her lips too. I wanted to go for a bit of a darker look with her, and just make sure she had a bit more color on there. So she definitely, I feel like, has a bit more of a color tint than all my other Sims did when creating this. And I wanted to do, of course, some long blonde hair. So I was playing around with some of the hairs below, and then I saw this one with the handkerchief around her head. And I just thought that is so country cottage, and I love that you can change the color of it as well. This dress is part of a little denim set that is super cute. I knew I wanted to do a little bit of a different color though, and so I played around with that for a little bit. At first, I was going to do the denim, but then ultimately I decided to change that after I played around with the handkerchief colors for a little bit as well. I didn't want to go too matchy matchy, but also it was kind of hard matching up with that orange. And so that helped me decide that I wanted to go with that more maroony style color, and then it had a really perfect counterpart handkerchief with that as well. I absolutely adore the earrings that I used. I want a pair for myself. I just felt the mushrooms really tied the whole look in together, kind of a nod to cottage living and the giant mushrooms that you can grow there. I definitely think she is so cute, and I would love to use her when playing cottage living. Just really channels that whole pack right there. Now for my last sim that I created, I wanted to go completely outside the box with this one. I was like, let's use some fun hair colors was kind of the vision I was going for. We had used, more of the natural ones previously. I did feel like my snow type sim was a bit more out of the box, and with this one, I really wanted to use some fun hair colors. The Miko ones have a lot of different swatches that are not the natural ones, and I loved this purple one. I also wanted to use those purple eyes, so that really just tied in as well, and those bushier eyebrows. I just thought this was so cute and definitely a fun look. Really going into it, I was just going to use that hair to kind of help me when picking the different skin details and what was going to look best with that shade of purple, but I ended up loving it so much that I actually used it for the final look as well. I just felt like the pigtails were super cute and really just gave a fun look. I love those little skin details too, and I wanted to give her something as well, so we ended up going with those. Just a super cute look to add there. I was going to play around with maybe making her eyes like the heterochromia, but I ended up not doing that. I just felt like the purple was a moment itself. Let's not take away from that. Outfit wise, it was so hard. I didn't want to go like too matchy, but I also wanted to bring in that purple color as well. So I was struggling with that for a while. I did try some like fully purple looks, but then I also was playing around with maybe not doing that. And I love what we ended up finding there. Makeup wise, I really wanted to play into the purple though, because I just think that was so fun. I knew I had that really cool graphic eyeliner, and so that just fit so perfectly. The purple complemented super well there. Eyeliner wise, I knew that that wasn't going to be a good fit doing like top eyeliner just with her look, and so I love the white that we use below. Just really kind of tied that whole look together, and then adding the eyelashes as well. The eyes are definitely the focus point for this look, so I wanted to make sure her blush and lipstick were a little bit more on the subdued side. And so this all really came together, and I really just love it. Definitely, once again, pushing outside my comfort zone when it comes to makeup and things like that on my Sims. So that's why I really enjoyed this challenge, and I definitely hope in the future we maybe get an expansion again on the hairs. I think it would be nice to see some more pastels and different versions of some of those more colorful hairs as well. But that's kind of wrapping up towards the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed. This was a super fun challenge. I definitely encourage everybody to do this as well. I will have these Sims, of course, uploaded to the gallery for you, and all the custom content will be linked below. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I put videos out every week. Leave a comment, like, and let me know which one of these Sims was your favorite. Thanks, everybody. Bye.